Topical research, everybody. How you doing? I got mascara in my eye, so that was fun. Burned. So this eye's watering now. Thank you, KJ. That's so nice. Thank you. And yes, get well, Mama Bear. Get well soon. We sure miss you. Thank you, KJ. Just making sure you guys can hear me. All right. Trace on the Case, Beach Bum, Leanne Ferguson, Jennifer, Tom Vaughn, Laura Nelson, Crochet and Bambi, Zelda, Philly. Um, okay. Ah, I hate that. I hate when you. At least I didn't make a big mess though with mascara in my eyeball. It just kind of went down there. Wendy Bastings, how you doing? Ron Hensley, how you doing? It's raining here. We have a flood warning right now, so it just came down like no other day, no other. I was like, okay, time to go live. Hey, Gloria Fritz, Beach Bum. I don't know if I said that already. I'm trying. I should start at the top and then come down. Laura Nelson says Laura Horror looking a little hefty lately. Y'all are funny. Y'all are hilarious for real. Okay, I'm scrolling. Door Opinion. How you doing? Lori Akers. How are you doing? Where do you go to sign? You go. Crap. That's what I was trying to do before I came on. It's like I have all the time in the world and then I don't. I know better. Um, I'll get it for you in just 1 second. Um, hello, all crime with Andy. How are you doing? Hey, Sugar Butt, Starburst, Allison Umpleby, already said that. Corky S, Rhombohedral. Paul Sofa made me be late. Well, shame on him. I'm joking. It's comfortable. He's hilarious. Love me some Paul. Hey, the Reals 360Z. Good evening to you too. I don't watch the Super Bowl. I used to do stuff. I used to have hobbies and I used to do things other than this, researching and um, seeking justice and all that good stuff. And but I don't watch it anymore. I'm just like, wait, today's Super Bowl, huh? And yeah, I, it said who won, but I've already forgot. Hi, Brenda Piru. Hey, Tina Reddington. How are y'all doing? McJet. Hey, McJet. Good to see you here. I saw you the other day on John Dehlin, Mormon Stories podcast. I have to think. There's Mormon discussions, and then there's Mormon Stories podcast. I actually made a okay, blank. I made a playlist called Mormon Stories Broadcast because I'm just sarcastic. Hi, Moira Sistola. Hey, Pearl May. How are you doing? Mil Mac, good to see you. Candace Parr. Yeah. Candace Parr says, yeah, it's not getting dismissed. I do believe the pause to check out her mental health will negate any claim that way. CYA, covering your your butt. Hey, Robin Bannister, how are you doing? Good to see you here. Glad to have you. So, hey, Carrie Ann. How's it going? You perming your son's hair? Oh, I used to get perms. Oh my God, I did. One day I'll embarrass myself even more and show y'all pictures of when I used to perm my hair. You ever seen Dirty Dancing? and there's baby, right? And I look like her a lot back then. It's kind of crazy, but little big curls. It was horrible. We didn't have flat irons, you know. We did not have flat irons. I had to deal with with some hair that wants to be straight and curly at the same time. Spiral perms, right? Exactly. Oh man, that just took me back, way back. So it's your first time doing it? Run, run. Just kidding. That's funny. I used to beg my mama, Tran, right? I'd be like, please, mama, I want to get my hair perm. That stuff stunk. I mean, like, big time. They won't do perms? Oh, wow. Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Just throw that in there. Oh, wow. I remember this also. The bigger my hair was, the better. I used to get, because I'm the oldest child, right? And I didn't have any older sisters or brother. I wouldn't expect my brother to do it, but I didn't have anybody to like put me under their arm, and put me under their wing and make me, hip or popular or whatever. And so at the bus, on the bus, these girls, they, and tease it. Oh my God. And then roll in your jeans on the Z Cavaricis. Oh my God. And their jabots. Yeah. Oh, but I loved growing up in the 80s and the 90s. It was different. That's for sure. But anyways, yeah, the bigger the better. We were definitely like walking. Um, you were possibly igniting. Don't light any fires. Boof, boof on gone. Yeah, the bigger the hair, the closer to God. That's funny. That's really funny. Oh my God. Crochet and Bambi says my daughter's bangs were epic. Oh man, that was a great time to be. I do think so too. It was different. It was I'm sure that my mom says the same thing about growing up in her time. I don't ever hear her talk about it too much. So I love 80s music. I love it. I heart it. um anyways, so I don't know. That's when music kind of, and I'm starting to sound old here. Music, there were new words like poems. It was poetic. It meant something. The words meant something. Now it's just like and I like all kinds of music. I do. I can bust out with some 10-inch bass speakers. I'm good. I'm ghetto. um, so I like it all. I like it all. Now I listen to Mike Stroud and Julie Rowe, Michelle McDermott, and Preparing People, Latter Day Media. I've listened to them, Abraham Gigliotti. Uh, I listen to podcasts that I never wanted to. Uh, I do it so you don't have to. We open the doors to many new genres. Amazing times. Yes, y'all did. Yes, we did, is what I meant. Sorry. Bell bottoms are still your jam. My best friend Terry also. She will still rock the bottoms. I'm short, so the bottoms don't look too good on me. I know, beach bum. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know how. So that's my bad. Like I've said before so many times. I know I'm not doing this healthy. I'm not doing this in a healthy way. But I can't. It's like I just cannot let up on it. I just know that yeah, Monica, I know that whenever my gut lets up on everything and just says, then I know I'm done. Until then, I can't. I want to. um, but it also, I tend to end up right back here. So And that's okay too. You know, I mean, it is really pouring its ass off right now. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Um, so, Jenna does the same thing right now. They took pictures of her wearing big pink curlers. Wow. Yeah. The MC Hammer pants. Can't touch this. Oh, I graduated in 96. So see? 96 in the mix. 94. Class of 94. Yep. I know, Robin. I look forward to this day. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't even know if it's going to be, post trial. I don't even know if that feeling will relinquish sin. I hope so. But it is what it is. And so I did, make a vow a long time ago to hold everybody accountable with blood on their hands, either inadvertently or indirectly or directly, either way. There's so many things that fed and feed into this. It's not stopped. So it hasn't stopped, is what I'm saying. It has not stopped. Therefore, it can potentially create another Chad and Lori, another Tylee, JJ, Charles, Tammy, Joe. Do the do we need a roster for the victims? Um, that bothers me, and anybody that just um, just dismisses this and says it's just an isolated event. It's an isolated. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Story. Uh, then that's ignorant to me. To me, that's not addressing the elephant in the room, so to say, so to speak. I don't think so, JDR. I um, I don't think so. I really, you can want in one hand and poop in the other, and then clap. that's how that's how I look at it. And I mean, if she can try that, then they're gonna. I say she. If they can try it, they're gonna do it. They are in the corner. They are demons in the corner, like KJ says all the time. And I mean, that it is what it is. They are gonna start slinging poo. There's poo about to start. He's slinging. I know I said that all backwards, but yeah, it's not isolated just within the LDS. It's not. It's not. It's the idea of the Church of the Firstborn that keeps getting sold. We'll just say sold, and you can't you can't do this, church. Yeah, I mean you can, but look at the crap that comes from it, church. There's no pretty way to present that. There's no pretty. You can't sugarcoat it. Um, they sit there. They've come out and said how many days Lori's been in prison, or I'm sorry, jail. Um, you know, I thought about it as I was getting dressed. I didn't have time, but to go in and put the days when each of the victims got murdered, and it's been that many days since they've taken a breath. It's been that many days since the victims have been able to live their lives. It's been so many days since they were heinously murdered, wiped out, erased, blotted out, whatever they were judged, deemed dark and not worthy of being amongst the rest of us. So to me, I'm like, screw you, Lori, with your however many days in. Good, expect a lot more, you know. I'll buy her the chalk so she can sit there and just count the days. Um, she knew better. She knew better. He knew better. They knew better. I mean, you can't dance around that. You can try. It's kind of interesting to witness, right? Just to watch them be backed into a corner that they painted themselves into, and it's about to get real. Um, it's real. It's real for me for sure. And I don't even think it is just yet until I go and actually sit in the courtroom and see them both in my eyesight at the same time. I don't think my eyes are, they better sit close to each other or I'll be cross-eyed. I'll be like trying to look at both of them. Thank you, Carrie. It goes into the culture, I think, Robinette. Why do you think they hate the federal government? Don't like to play by the rules like thou shalt not kill those who are in your way of your mission. Right. It's a cultural thing for sure. And it stems from the founder of the church, the prophet of the church, Joseph Smith. It comes with that white horse prophecy and all that crap. It's anything that's secret. This is my opinion. And a lot of careful thought goes into this. I mean, I don't just say it just to say it. I wouldn't say it. I'm one of those people that say what you mean and mean what you say, right? And the church is really setting people up for failure, in my opinion. Anything that's done in secret is not good. Yeah, crochet and baby. All right, the loopy meds are kicking in, Kathy said. Better sit back and not talk. But hey, everyone, and thanks for the well wishes. That's what Mama Bear says. I do too. All crime with Andy. I do too. I firmly believe that. I don't know about Stacy. I don't know. But weird. Still the way and I mean, you can't tell anybody else how to grieve. Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve, right? That's what Jen taught me. And so I don't get to tell the Coxes how to grieve. But then on the same hand, I'm just like, but you're kind of the reason, like you don't get to grieve like me. I don't know. I know that's wrong, but it's like they don't get to grieve the same way I do because they're part of that problem. They're part of what enabled Lori to do what she did. Hey, Mom. Hey, y'all. Hey, Gresha. Hey, Mom. So I don't think that's fair. Janet and Summer, they were right there. Just, I mean, Summer said that she was going to, do you want me to go kill him myself? In reference to my Uncle Charles. Screw you, Summer. Just saying. Beckmont too, that's not cool. So, did she know? Janet, Janice. I'm sorry. I think I've been saying Janet. She don't, in my opinion, like she said that she talked to JJ on October 1st. A lie. That's a damn lie. No, you did not. And I mean, I know I get like not wanting to believe that about not just your daughter, but your daughter and your son. Two red rummers. You birthed them. I can't imagine. I can't imagine what that would feel like as a parent, to know that I birthed two murderers, allegedly. I don't know. Zelda might take you up on that. I might just be like a bag. My mom always called me a bag child when I was growing up, because I always had a bag, and that's my intentions. I'm just going to roll with the punches. So, Detective's daughter has offered a place for me to stay also, and I'll pay diesel, and that's very generous. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. I'll get in touch. I like change of scenery anyways. I like to move around. I don't think so either. Crochet and Bammy. Yeah. Beach bum. I agree. Put away, never be seen again. Yeah. Nobody ever held Lori accountable. she's just gotten away, where, I mean, that's only going to make what she's been doing, she's just getting like stronger courage, and she's just like, like, I ain't got caught yet, so I'm just going to keep on pushing pushing the limits. And she did. Wow. Whew, Action Jackson, big time. So, hi, Soulside Jules. How are you doing? Have you seen Mormon Stories 732 with Scott Duke? I haven't. 35 into the episode, he talks about the ward he was in and his elders using. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna Google that up. hold, please. I mean, just yeah. 35 minutes. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on, just one second. Interesting. Thank you. Number. I already forgot. I gotta go back. Number 732. Okay. Oh, 732. Okay. All right, let me push play. Let me go to 35 minutes. And I'm share the screen. Hold on just one second. Thank you so much. Let me pull this down. But, well, no, I'll keep it up, I guess. I don't know. I'm just talking to myself. Right here. Share. Share. Okay, let's hear what he has to say. Mormon Stories. Scott Duke and his meeting with Elder Christopher, I don't know, Golden Jr. I don't know how to say that.
So this wasn't just Mormonism and Christianity. I mean, this is just
bigger.
Yeah, it's very big in epistemology. So those are some of my big issues, and he just waved them away. Well, we're not going to get into any of that. That's not important. And I felt like I had shown up for like a football game with a tennis racket. Like we weren't even on the same page as what we were going to be accomplishing at that meeting. I came prepared with questions, and he's like, "No, we're not doing that." I'm like, okay. So then one of the next things he said, I have met with several people who have been former CES instructors, former bishops,
Yep.
who have lost their testimony. And when they sit here before me, every single one of them, they are just a shell of the person that they once were.
So that's just like Don Clark's interview with Trevor Haugen, where he basically says, "You'll never be happy." You think Mormons may have their problems, but non-Mormons have it really bad. It's just this fear spouse saying that. That's
also took it to mean like just morally just a shell.
But by the way, maybe sometimes people struggle after they've left the church because they've been rejected and disowned and abandoned and ostracized by the people they love most.
Sure.
Sure. That's something that hopefully he can become educated and sensitive enough to understand. But even though that's going to be rare, because most of the people I know thrive. So
yeah.
This
does not encourage me to open up to him about my questions, because he's telling me that anyone that he sees that disagrees with the church is, in his view, a shell of a person.
Right.
Doesn't that sound familiar, guys? That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot, I mean, not with this, but you see it over and over and over again where they, it's the same story, different players, different characters, different people. And it just happens over and over and over again.
I mean, that would be like if you were to interview someone who's maybe a recent convert to the church and they agreed to come on. And then you said, now, before we get going, I just want to let you know that every convert to Mormonism I've ever met, they've got like a brainwashed, glazed over look about the,
Right, yeah.
If that's what you think of me, they're not going to want to talk to you.
Okay.
Not that you think that, and I know that you don't, but if you were to say something like that.
I should just say that the people are upset. The commenters are saying things like, Marie writes, "Where will you go?" That's that's the rhetoric that's been used lately. Patricia writes, "Wow, that is so demeaning." Amanda writes, "That's so insulting." You know, people hate. Lots of frowny faces on Facebook. It's the rhetoric.
This point in the meeting, I just kind of, in my mind, I say, you know, I'm not doing this. This is not what I came here to do. And I've been insulted, and I'm just going to be quiet and listen to what he has to say and take it into account and move on. So I really didn't engage much. I kind of disengaged at that point. So let's get into some of the really interesting things he said, though.
Do I go further into it, Wendy? Oh, I'm hidden. I'm hidden. Let's see. Okay, layout. Okay. Anyways, oh, thank you, Zelda. I just don't know if I need to go further or if I need to go backwards. His name is, so I can't see from right here. His name is Scott Duke. Right here. And I don't know who Christoffel Golden Jr. is. I have no idea who this elder is. But I don't know. Miss Wendy Bastings said that, you know, I have the comment pinned right here. Have you seen Mormon Stories number 732 with Scott Duke? Huh. Okay, hold on. What are you talking about, Jen? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm checking my phone. I usually don't have my notifications on, but they've been on. Jason went back to the hospital. Back in, and I mean, they had him. They ran tests, and I mean, lickety split Friday night, and it was like 2 hours, and he was back home. And I was like, okay, thank God. So there's that. Okay, there's Wendy. I'm not sure. It's not sounding like you sent the right episode. Sorry. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, I know I've seen it before. I've seen the ratings. I've seen these names. I've seen the list. It's not just isolated to Chad. And to me, that's like a diversion. That slowed me down from getting to the bottom of the, to the truth, to the bottom of it. So just like in an investigation, except I'm not law enforcement, I'm not law enforcement, but these are my family members, and all I've heard is, we don't teach that. That's not our church. That's not our beliefs. And I mean, I get it. I get the zombie thing is not, but then I delved in and didn't take it verbatim. I didn't take everybody's word for it because it just sounded too odd. It was so odd that I had to go see for myself. And I'm glad that I did. Yeah, Gene. Yeah, he did. I'm sorry. I just tuned in when you said Jason went back in the hospital. I'm so glad it was in and out sort of kind of visit. Yeah, I just said that wrong. But anyways, yeah, thank you. I am too. I was like, oh, here we go. But I told him I was going to get Mom and Larry on his butt. Like I was seconds away from calling reinforcement. Jason, he can be a bit stubborn. So it doesn't help us in the long run, But so yeah, I mean, you can go and you can say that these things, you don't teach this. You can deny. Look at what Janice and Summer did. Deny. Didn't mean that Lori didn't do the horrible things that she's accused of. It didn't change anything. Denial does not change anything. It doesn't address the problem. It just, all these things, it's just excuses to me. Yeah. Yeah. So that to me is just like, it's just like Chad and Lori calling Melanie Gibb and saying, "Hey, the police are going to call you. Just say that you have JJ, that you're at the whatever. Just take pictures of random kids." What the hell? That's the same thing I've seen with people in this who belong to the church that haven't wanted to, how do I say this? It's hard calling it out for what it is because I don't want to piss anybody off and don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Then on the other hand, I, my family was murdered. What would you do? Tell me what you would do. Maybe that would be helpful, is to have the dialogue. But instead, they usually just come and they've left for for the most part. Um, I don't know why. This is not comfortable. This is not a great position to be put into. um, Wait, hold on. What? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. Oh, I have it right here, guys. I'm sorry. Let me go grab it. I'm gonna go grab it. Let's see. Wait, wrong thing. I didn't get to finish it, but well, where's it at? I have there's the petitions link right here. Oh my goodness. I tried muting it, but it didn't mute. Okay. um, so this is the link for the petitions to have Judge Boyce reconsider having cameras in the courtroom for trial. This is important to me and my family. I know that a lot of you have seen Larry and Mom plea to the court. Let me Google that on up. I spelled it wrong. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Let me go share this one instead. Okay. I'm always like afraid it's not going to show over here.
The Healing Sanctuary is a groundbreaking medical clinic located in Idaho Falls.
Yes. But anyways, this was from, I don't know, January 25th, 2023. Crap.
I ask everybody involved in this, if you have the ability to write the court, to call the court, to contact the court, please do. Please try to get the judge to allow some type of coverage. This is unfair. I don't care what the judge says. I have total respect for him. I admire him so for how he's run his court, but I think this decision was an ill-advised decision. I can understand keeping the cameras in pre-trial. I can understand keeping those out. But when that trial starts, those jurors are picked, then it's time for us as the public and the family to be able to see that. So for God's sake, do everybody do what you can to support an effort to put those cameras back in the court for the trial. Please, God, do that for JJ and for Tylee
And Tammy.
and Tammy and Charles.
Well, we're ready to get this done in Idaho, because then we have Arizona to go to see about Charles's murder.
Absolutely.
So, you know, let's you know, get this one done and then move on to the next.
But let's also say this: we would like it to be done. We're in no hurry. All we have is time that's left, and I am telling you right now, if the good Lord's willing, I'll be there till this is settled. Kay and I will, our family will, our friends, and the people that support those two children worldwide. This is for autism. This is for a deed that was.
Do we have to have an excuse? I'm just asking for a friend. Joking. Just, you know, just because it's right. It's the right thing to do. If you're not hiding anything, then it should just be open, like it's supposed to be. I don't know. I just spoke ignorantly, kind of. Sorry about that.
It was horrible for our murders that were senseless. Over what? Money and lust? Come on. You know, man, what were you thinking about?
Chad.
Lori, what in the hell were you thinking about? Obviously you weren't. Everybody in Rexburg, everybody up in that part of that southeast Idaho, please, for God's sake, make your voices heard. Help support the effort to get those cameras and get media coverage of this. This is not difficult.
This is difficult research, though. I was like, but it is. People complicate it. We complicate things, right? Things aren't complicated. People complicate them. It's just crazy. I'm guilty of it too. So
this needs to be done.
That always scares the crap out of me. Anybody else? that thing. It scares the crap out of me every time. I'm gonna make one, Rowan, to you. You're the one that I was like, oh yeah, you know, let's make some shirts. I worked on that yesterday, and I saw your comment right after that. I was like, God dang it, I'm gonna have to get back in there, but that's okay. To get, what the hell were you thinking? What the hell? What the hell, Lori? What the hell, Chad? You know, Netflix does that to you. But yeah. And thank you for everybody who has, you know, signed the petition or you know, is mailing a letter, mailed a letter. I've got to write mine tonight, me and Jason. So we haven't done that yet, but we plan on it. I wanted to do this live stream, and yeah. So I mean, I don't really know what to say besides, you know, Jason's going to be here. Our kids are going to be here. I'm not going to be here. How am I going to tell Jason about my day? I would like for him to be on the same page as me, while we're apart for trial. You know, hopefully some weekends, maybe I can fly down. I don't know. But there's other family members, you know, we have elder people, we have younger people, we have all kinds of people and family, and they all have jobs and go to school and have their own families. And what do? You know, besides, you know, you can't, it's like I don't know if it was because of coronavirus or what, if that's the only reason that I'm going to look for that link. If that's the only reason we had Zoom, or, you know, I have no idea. Who's to say? I'm not a revelator. Looking for it right here, but I think it says it's Sweet 15. Please, I think it's okay, 151 West First North Street, I guess. St. Anthony, Idaho, 83445. Case numbers for Chad and Lori. Oh, before that though, I think it's suite number 15. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Thank you, Zelda. It is. You make it out to the Honorable Judge Stephen W. Boyce, Fremont County Court. I'm gonna go. Let me type this up real quick. It'll take me a little bit because I'm not quick on the keyboard, but it'd be better than having to keep doing it. If y'all don't mind, thank you. See, I can't type. Keyboard's way over here. Also, whoa. Whoop. Ah, that scared me too. The little boop noise when somebody goes backstage. 151 West. Whoop. First. Their addresses are crazy. North. Come on. Idaho. 83445. Okay. And I think it's, let me go put suite. That was the whole point of this. Suite number 5. Okay. And let me put their, shoot. What did I do? I'm glad y'all can't see me typing. Oh, y'all can watch me type, but you can't see what I did yet. Okay. Okay, St. Anthony, Idaho. Copy. Paste. And CR Chad. I'm just going to put Chad number because I only have 200 characters. So Chad number is CR 22-21 -1623, and she's 1624. CR 22-21-1624. Add banner. I think that's right. I think. We'll see. We'll proofread me right now. Yeah, looks good. Looks kosher. Because who Mom had sent me, what the heck? Oh, that's a screenshot. There. Okay. No wonder earlier I couldn't get it to move. Wow. Anyways, Mom sent me a post. She took a screenshot of a post that somebody made, and that's basically what I did. Is I if you're interested in writing a letter to at Kay and Larry's request, you can address it to, and here's the address. And then she didn't have suite 15, but I picked that up somewhere. And it's the clerk of court. Be sure to include the case number in your letter. We are understanding we are understanding that if the case number is included, then they have to file it with the court. Chad's case number is CR 22-21-1623, and hers is 1624. So anyways, Yeah. And so I did a video, and I think I uploaded it Friday. And it was pretty good, actually. I made a Jiffy or a GIF, however you want to say it. It's different. I made one, but I couldn't upload it to my community wall. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. But so I made a Giphy or Jiffy, whatever you want to call it, GIF. And anyway. That's weird. I just got a copyright, not in this video, but on a video I did a long time ago. So they're throwing out copyrights and they're doing their sweep. Anyways, so I made this video. I'll share it in case you haven't seen it. Share this one instead. Yeah, I told you I could go hood. Welcome to Difficult Research. My name is Kresha. Justice for Tylee, JJ, Charles, Tammy, and Joe. We're going to do this. We're going to do it. We'll see it through.
I ask everybody involved in this,
I know we did all
if
this.
you have the ability to write to court, to call the court,
I don't know why.
all we had need.
Sorry.
Obviously you weren't. Everybody in Rexburg, obviously you weren't.
Y'all see them eyes though? You see my mom's eyes? Pow! I've had them eyes before. Those eyes have looked at me. I know what them eyes mean. And I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, if looks could kill. Thank God it can't.
Everybody in Rexburg, everybody up in that part, that southeast Idaho, please,
Sweet 15.
for God's sake, make your voices heard. Help support the effort to get those cameras and get media coverage of this. This is not difficult. This needs to be done.
and I'm extra, so you know. Them babies, you know. Look at them. They're not here anymore. Ugh. Anyways, oh, what did I do? Oh, okay. I pushed stop sharing, and then y'all went away. It's like, oh. But anyways, so yeah. Yeah, it's not just us or even family on Charles and JJ's side that need the cameras. Annie is recovering from a health issue and she wishes to keep private, but I'm sure she would appreciate staying at home, right? Or at least afforded the choice. We're not given much choice in all this at all. Absolutely none, you know. The only thing that we do have, and I don't even know, I have no idea how that works. I know I don't have any say so over the children's remains, but I mean, you still, there's no decisions that, you know, were afforded to us. Like we've just been like, okay, we're just here. And you're kind of stuck at the court's mercy, basically, you know? Um, uh, yeah, you would think. You would think Pop's Mooker. Yeah, that's part of the problem. Yeah. You know, I can't say it any better than that. Done. You know, it's different. Different folks, different strokes for different folks, I guess. You know, maybe they're busy. I don't know. But that's exactly what I think I was, you know, trying to make that point of a long time ago. When all this is done and adjudicated, everybody else is going to move on. Whereas I committed and vowed to, you know, make this my life's mission. So this is something that I'm not just going to let go of. This is something that I'm trying to build. And, you know, it takes time. It's just a lot of, there's so many things that I've had to learn and am still learning, working on a website, 2 websites actually, the Love Always Wins Foundation.org and difficultresearch.com. Would like to get the difficult research one, or one of them. Got to get one of them published before the trials. That'd be great, so that the word can get out. Because once it sucks, because no, who wants to be opportunistic? You know, when there's blood, your family's blood is all over everything. It's hard to brand. It's hard to name your channel. It's hard to brand. It's hard. How do you brand murder? It's really gross. It's really gross. So what do you do? I've been torn with that. How do you monetize? And then you're like, I'm seeing all these other, you know, other people who are not related monetize, and I'm like, okay, well, this is my work too. So, you know, I mean, just saying, it's like we get ridiculed if we monetize, and we get ridiculed if we don't, and it just is weird. It's the weirdest position to be thrown into. Again, not a choice made by me or anybody in my family. Thank you. And this is what was dealt to us and to me, and this has been my way of speaking out. This has been my way of sharing my perspective, getting your perspectives, because yours are just as important as mine. Together, we figured this out. You know, we're not going to get out of this just seeing things one-sided, you know. It's very important. It's very important to me, and I feel like it's very important to you also. You know, to just get things right. I don't want to sit here and just piss people off all day. not my thing. I would just consider just being really nice. Um, as you know, just as far as like, let me pull it up. Let me Google that on it. You know, I'm going to it. Let's see. It's a few texts back. Quite a few. We're very long-winded. Oh, you heard that thunder? Y'all, yesterday it was a rogue clap of thunder. And it was last night, and I was like, okay, I just had to get my heart back in my chest. That one wasn't that bad. Okay. Oh. Okay. Getting to it. All right. Well, I'm having to read through it. Okay. Basically, that just your name, your location. Um, this person explained that they were low tech and didn't have the means to sign an online petition for court cameras. Um, they included that they were a parent with children and grandchildren. Now, well, I shared that there are many who have the hardship of traveling to the trial, and that we all deserve to see. I think it's a right, also, right? I mean, isn't it like, I don't know. Don't come at me. I don't know. I haven't had to, learn all those things yet. Just kind of, yeah. Um, and then I thanked her for being there for us and for making sure that Judge Boyce sees our sincere request. A little of that buttery stuff, right? Yeah, handwrite it, type it, whatever works for you. Um, no preference, snail mail. I love getting my letters from Detective's daughter. I love my snail mail. It's different. There's heart put into it. There's that human side to me. Handwriting is better. That's just me though. But I like personal touches, that's how I am. It's more thought out to me, you know. Um, and just how you'd want to be talked to. Just, not like, haha, you got something to hide, or you know what I mean, something snarky, nothing like that, because that's really not what it's about. It's part of it, in my opinion. It's part of it. Being transparent is good. It shows that there is nothing to hide. Um, yeah, sorry. And it can't hurt, all we can do is try. That's all that we ever can do as people, as human, as an individual, is try. All they can do is say no, and then maybe they say yes. You never know. So I don't think that Judge Boyce is just trying to be you know a meathead or anything. I think he's just trying to protect the court. I hope so. I want to believe that. I really do. But there is that level of, and that's just with me. I don't know if this is with the rest of my family. I'm speaking for myself when I say this, that I've seen a lot of other things be hush hushed. I don't like it. And so that is something that has worried me from the very beginning. I didn't know what exactly I was looking at in the beginning. I don't know now for sure. I know a little more than I did at the beginning, but um, there was something that with the denial of everybody saying, nope, this is not what we teach, da 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 da. Um, I just it was so odd that I had to jump into it. Since I did, I've learned a thing or two, and I've learned quite a few things. And the pattern of things is to not make the church look negative in any light. They do not like it. I get it. Who does? There's that thunder. um, I agree with you, Jean. Sorry. Yes, this is his this is his first time. I'm sorry. I'll go back to it. This is his first, you know, uh, he got elected in this position right here. And just like Rob Wood, I mean, he hadn't been a prosecutor very long. Um, these are going to make or break their careers. There's a lot riding on the line, more so than just the justice, but that should be first and foremost, in my opinion. And that means on all sides. Have it be a fair and impartial. That's right, a fair trial for Chad and Lori. That way, there's not as many appeals. They're gonna exercise and practice their appeals. I mean, who wouldn't? Wouldn't you? Right? Right now, if you were just don't imagine what they did. Pretend it had nothing. Pretend it's not Chad and Lori. Pretend it's you. Wouldn't you do the same thing? Just just putting that out there. Just that's that thinking. Um, logic. I would. I'd be like, hey. Yeah, you can hear my thunder from out yonder. um, you think so, Donna? I don't know. I don't know. I wish I did. I don't know if he was again. There goes that whole coercion, whatever, um, where they tried to get him thrown out. Um, so I don't know if he was just like, "Hey, girl," you know. I looked it up. Boyce was appointed by the government. I was going to donate to the person running against him. I was super disappointed. Yeah, and like Lindsay Blake, she's new into that position that she's in. Kind of neat, huh? Different. You wonder, and I mean, I think about these things. I'm just like, these things are going on. Do people, you know, do they run or do they get placed? I don't know. I don't trust things. I don't trust a lot of things since this happened for sure. I see that in the way I hoard information. I mean, I go and I collect from the very beginning screenshots, screen recording. As soon as I learned how to do screen recording, holy crap. Because preparing a people, Latter Day Media, Time to Warrior Up, all those podcasts that are so telling, they were wiped. They were scrubbed. The scrubbing bubbles came out and scrubbed the damn internet. And I didn't understand things at the time. And I mean, I get now that it's good to link those to source, but source goes away. Source scrubs the damn internet. And it sucks, because you're like, no, damn, I know I saw that. I would like to be able to depend on it and be able to come back to it, or to show other people. But then it's not there. So yeah, I do have trust issues. I'm not even gonna lie. I took too big of a gulp. You think so? Lindsay is sharp. Yeah, I really like Rachel Smith. She's always like She goes in there and she says things like my mom does. She's like, I forget what it was, but she's something like, shouldn't have buried him on your yard, or something like that. Mom always says, well, you shouldn't have murdered, don't murder. And then you won't be in this tough predicament. Rachel Smith kind of says the same things, in my opinion. Now, I did, let me see if I can mute it. I found this, I didn't go to this court hearing. This was in April, whenever Lori became became competent. We did not go, me and my mom and my dad, we did not go to Chad's hearing earlier that morning. Mom never was going to go. Larry decided not to go. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go by myself, And so I slept in, and I like to sleep. And so we went. When we did go, I didn't watch it. I was right there in person, right? And so I didn't watch it. But I went back the other day, somehow landed on it. This is just how things operate for me. This is a day in the life of Cresha K. And I stumbled upon that Chad's hearing, okay? And I was like, oh my God, I just busted Chad. And nobody has called this out. I've not seen it anywhere. Nowhere. Nobody's talked about it. Nobody's said anything. So I'm like, ew, this is Chad in action rating people. Some courtroom strange. As Haunted says, Haunted said courtroom strange. So let me pull it up, and then let me try and hurry up and mute it. And y'all can see, because it's only 7 seconds. Oh, crap. Okay, let me go and share. Share. So I made a very short. Share screen. I guess it's this one. Yeah, it is. All right, it's going to be quick, but I'll play it again. Crap. I have it muted. You see that? Ew. Look at this. There's this chick. She's coming right. He's already made. There, he just saw her. Chad Daybell rating that ass. Now, courtroom strange, rounding the bend. He dropped his pen. No, I'm joking. He's checking her butt out. Now watch him and his judgmental ass. Look. Ah! I thought that was gross. He tries to act like, oh, I'm righteous. I'm just so righteous. How dare I look at that piece of tail right there. This is Chad, not me. Anyways, let me play it. You see that? Like he's disappointed or something. I thought that was interesting. Very interesting. Right? He is a pig. He's so gross. So, I mean, he was over Lori back in April. I think it's safe to say. He was giving her some what did I call it? He was, oh crap. I don't know. It's something when I push live, my mind goes blank, right? So anyways, I thought that was interesting. It's like, yeah, he's over her for sure. He's not picking up what she's putting down anymore. And she's like, Chad, please, let's do a strategy meeting. Let's continue our conspiracy. In my opinion, just conspiracy continued, because she's like, hey, are we still in this? Are we still going to do what we said? Because you're not. I feel like you're turning, and he turned a long time ago. And so my parents said it a long time ago also. They were like, sleep with one eye open. You're next. Basically, they were trying to get his attention. Like, if you don't stop and think about what you're doing, Chad, that, oh my God, they were trying to reason with people who are not reasonable people. Yeah, not good enough for him. Like he was being snooty tooty. Hey, Robbie, a status check. I don't know. What does that mean? Oh, I know. Haunted. I know. I was just like, because he's right. He's judging. He's like going, is that a 10 or a 2? Basically. And he does that a lot, especially in that book that I have of his. And it's like the top 5 LDS things. Um, like he would, I don't know where the book is. It's, of course, not within my reach. But he rates. Chad is a rate. He likes to rate things. People aren't, he don't just, well, he does kind of, he likes to rate people. He likes to judge people. He's very judgmental. I think that's safe to say. Good observation. And yeah, when your family starts becoming wiped out, yeah, when they're around, things disappear. Yes, ever since then, I think so too, Rombo. Ever since then. Yeah. I mean, hey, though, I'm not going to lie, Crochet and Bammy, if if I was Chad and I was Lori, ugh, anyways, I think I would. I'm much more impressed at what Pryor has done than I am with what Lori's teams have done. Just just saying, just for being John Pryor. And he's not getting paid anymore. I mean, the funds have. I'm sure they've been gone. I'm sure now he's just doing it pro bono. I would think. I really don't know how that works. I don't know if you can. I don't know how all that goes into play. But um, yes, Maria P. Yes, done. Yeah, he is. He totally is. And so, what has he been humbled by, right, Donna? What has he been humbled? Has he been humbled? Obviously not, because he's checking out some courtroom strange. It's so gross. It's so gross. Ugh. I mean, his only experience at being single is Lori. 29 years of Tammy basically doing everything for him and, just working, taking care of the kids, I'm sure the grandkids. I can just see, I don't know her, I've never met her, but I just feel like, I'm just going to go right. Oh, okay. What? James and Elena? James the Lust, not James the Just. Right. Yep. Thank you, Trace. Yeah, that's that. Same with Lori too. Crochet and Bammy. I'm sorry, I gotta go back. Um, same with Lori. Nobody stood up to her, and nobody stood up to him. And a lot of, how do I say this? It's a cultural thing. Also, the patriarch runs. He's the head of the family. Um, yes, Gail Kenyon. I agree with you. When are they going to tell him to stop whining? I think now. They're telling him to stop whining. Kind of like that officer told Melanie Pulowski. He was like, he said, shut up or stop talking. Stop talking. One of my favorite moments. What? You think so, Pops? These are the things that I loathe, you know? Um, I don't know. Does he always want them sealed though? Or, I don't know why my camera's blurry, so I apologize if it's blurry on your end. It's blurry on mine. I think normal people have difficulty standing up to narcissists. Applies to both Chad and Lori. I think you're right, Janet. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's like I want to post all your comments. His big butt was in the right hands in prison. Yep. And Maria P says poor Tammy was used, abused, and discarded by an evil narcissist. Right. Charles too. And then he was silenced. He was silenced on more than one occasion, quite a few, where code words are set up and things, how do I put this? Organized religion, from what I've seen, from what I've studied and what I have researched extensively. I mean, and I'm not stopping now. I'm not like, okay, I'm done. This is it in a nutshell. No, this is this is my life's mission now. And it has been for the past almost 4 years. And never did I ever think that I'd be here today, but I am grateful that I took this route, because there's a lot of things that I've learned that are secret, and they're not sacred, they're secret. And I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's cool at all. As a matter of fact, I think that sucks. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't address the problem. And the problem is, I'm not saying that the church is responsible for the murders. No, but the culture, the things that were put into place were not to set them up for success. It was, I don't know. It's like, how can we sit here and call Chad a cult leader when this is not his doctrine? Not at all. So that's where I have a problem. Like, it's a, and even Brandon Boudreaux was like, this is not our stuff. Uncle Charles was like, this is not our stuff. Both of them. So that's how closed off and hidden and secretive it is. Your own members don't know about this. I find that to be troubling. I find it very troubling. I find it alarming, and I don't think it's right. And it doesn't do justice to the victims, Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. And it's a slap in the face to me. It's like, do they matter? That's what I'm asking, the church. Do the members matter to you? Because you haven't said one word. There were letters sent out that hadn't been sent out since 2010. Then all of a sudden, second day into Chad's preliminary hearing, we feel compelled to send out, just in that area, to send out letters saying, reminder, this is in the handbook, but don't go to law enforcement. Basically, that's a problem. And it is, whatever, I'm going to get flashback, whatever, I'm used to it by now, but it doesn't have to be this way. It never had to be this way. It does not have to be this way. And how can you fix something or even begin to fix something if there's denial until it's acknowledged and people accept it for what it is the secrecy that it exists in your religion, in mine too. Just, this is how I was introduced to the Book of Mormon, was via murder. My family members being murdered. My mom was on the hit list to be murdered. That was my introduction to the Book of Mormon. And I've really tried to go into this, and I still do, with respect, with compassion, empathy, with no agenda. I just wanted to see things, and I weigh things out big time. I bounce them off of things. I go and read the comments. The comments is where it's at, and there are active Latter-day Saints who post comments on these forums and stuff and things, and they don't know I exist. They don't know you exist. You know, they're just in their online communities talking about what active Latter-day Saints talk about. And it's the same thing that Chad and Lori were talking about, minus the name zombie. There's blood atonement. That's murder. It is what it is. Same here, Leah. Same here. Blood atonement is not a word I made up. It's not a term I made up. That pre-existed me. The whole have we met in a pre-existence, that did not come from Chad. It came from Saturday's Warrior, which was a popular TV show. I don't remember when, but that. So yeah, I stumbled across this forum, and I mean, I did a video on it. I'd still have to edit it and get it out, and I did it over a year ago. I mean, this is a long time ago, and that's what I'm saying. I go record. I do have videos of me just, recording and learning and explaining what I have learned and going through it together, right? But I haven't released them. So, but that's because in the middle of them, when I'm reading these things, when I'm saying them out loud, like I do right now, like right here, it something catches, and then I end up like, oh my God, no. Oh wow, this is where that came from. And I mean, it's a whole nother rabbit hole, or 50, and it is a code. It is nothing but a code. They even talk about it being a code. Let me go to the website. I mean, Google that on up. LDSliving.com. Yeah. Oh, it was already in there. All right. My computer knows me. Okay. So let me hide myself in a minute. Share screen. Why were code names and code words used in share? Making sure y'all can see. Okay. And so this is on LDSliving.com. And this is what I have brought this up before in my live streams. I just didn't show it. I read it. But why were code names and code words used in early editions of the Doctrine and Covenants? Were sections added or removed in various editions? And this is March 1st, 2021. See these names right here? I don't know how to say them, so please don't make me. Mahimson, the G word right here, O-H-O. Okay. Well, anyways, it reminds me of Raphael, Chad's code name, right? Anyways, it says, if you look at an edition of the Doctrine and Covenants published prior to 1981, you would likely be very confused by the use of code names and code words. For example, Oliver Cowdery was called, I don't know, Eliha, I don't know how to say it, and Martin Harris, Mahimson, I guess, I don't know. Oh. And according to an article published by the Church History Department, this was done to avoid, and this is quote, to avoid providing evidence for lawsuits against church members. What the hell? Okay, what in the actual hell? To avoid providing evidence for lawsuits against church members. Isn't that evasion? Isn't that, yeah, okay, anyways. The code names were replaced with actual names in the 1981 edition. An article from the BYU Scholars Archive states that the use of code names came on the heels of growing hostility towards the church. And as a result, quote, the decision was made to conceal the true identities of various early leaders, particularly those responsible for the economic matters of the church. Since there were numerous problems connected with the early attempts to establish the law of consecration and stewardship, especially as it related to property holdings, it was nature to hide the identity of those assigned specific temporal duties. End quote. That's troubling to me. So monkey see, monkey do. That's I see this in Melanie Gibb. I see this in David Warwick. I see it in Chad Laurie. All of them, all of them. You know, omission is the same to me as lying. The Church History Department's article, quote, ask us top 5 reference questions about Doctrine and Covenants publishing. Also includes information about sections that were included or excluded dependent on the specific edition of the Doctrine and Covenants. Learn more about how the Doctrine and Covenants has changed over time here. And so this is a screenshot, you know, those names and stuff from the josephsmithpapers.org. They're interesting. You should go read them. I mean, it's pretty intriguing. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this is not really my forte, but it's kind of became that. And anyways, I mean, I'm fascinated by it. I'm just like, holy crap! You see these diaries and in their own words, and it's very interesting. So. There's a 3-part series on We Saw the Devil podcast dissecting Tucha and VD's beliefs and comparing them to doctrine. Is it new? Because I haven't seen anything from them in a long time. Sometimes I go back and listen to old things, you know, because I missed that. And thank you, Jenny. Hit the like on the way in. Yes, help grow the platform. Appreciate it. We're almost to 6,000 subscribers, and we're this far away. So if you're not subscribed, please consider it. We'd really appreciate it. You know, it helps extend the voice, extend our reach to advocate for, and that's my future. That's what I have in my plans in the future, is to advocate for other families, other victims, members of family. I never know how to say that. Co-victims. We'll just say co-victims. And try to prevent this stuff. And the whole lying for the Lord thing is despicable, but it's true. Part 8. Let me get to that real quick. This is from the Ex-Mormon Foundation.org, and it's on their YouTube channel, and I encourage you to go check it out, because it's telling. It tells you everything that you need to know. It tells me everything I need to know. It's helped me. It hasn't told me. It hasn't been the defining factor. It's helped me to understand and grasp all this. It's a lot of stuff that I've crammed. People spend their entire lifetime in this religion, and I've not. I wasn't big into, I memorized prayers and that was it before all this. And, anyways, I'm just saying there's a lot to cram. Plus I take all the beliefs plus all the case info, and then it's trying to, and there's plenty of places where I can point it. I do point it out. It's just not confined. Let me go present this real quick. And this is Lying for the Lord, part 8. And this is Ken Clark. He was a former LDS CES Institute director for 27 years. Illustrates how the Mormon Church utilizes deceptions and outright lies to maintain control over members and potential converts to Mormonism. And so this was, see, I liked it, and I'm subscribed. Let me push play.
Lying became such an integral practice with the Latter-day Saints. Church leaders instructed members how to lie about polygamy, according to the testimony of members given under oath. And you all have a rich heritage. I'm a convert, so I don't have this, but you probably have diaries, journal accounts, and stories from your ancestors that talk about these very things, about when the federal authorities would seek to arrest someone or question a child or question a family member. They lied. They would not give straight answers about their name, where they lived, who their parents were, who their brothers and sisters were. And what do you see when they raid a place like Waco, Texas, where there's a fundamentalist compound? You can't get the truth out of the kids, the husbands, the wives, anybody. It's a long-standing tradition. Henry S. Tanner explained that Mormons would be regarded by God as having made no promises, nor be accountable for lies told to protect the church.
There you go.
Tanner and others blamed the government for making them lie.
And so, do you see that? Oh my God. So many flags fly up, all the red flags. You know, it's like Summer saying that she can't ask about the kids because Lori's in jail and their phone calls are being recorded. What? That don't even make sense.
Henry S. Tanner explained that
I'm going back. We're going to listen to this again.
Mormons would be regarded by God as having made no promises, nor be accountable for lies told to protect the church.
Now, I see Melanie Gibb and David Warwick and Chad and Lori all over this, all over it. This one is so very telling. And it also shares the oath oath of vengeance and the come at you once, come at you twice, come at you 3 times. So
Tanner and others blamed the government for making them lie. Abraham Hoagland Cannon, an LDS apostle, I put it in quotes, took Annie Cannon after President Woodruff permitted him to do so in 1984 after the manifesto.
1894.
Annie was taken as a concubine. Leaders pondered this practice because the revelation to Joseph about plural marriage mentioned that the Lord approved of concubinage.
Just saying.
George Q. Cannon said, I believe in concubinage or some plan whereby men or women can live together under sacred ordinances and vows until they can be married.
Key words. You got to follow it word by word for word. It's very literal.
Concubinage would provide a way to take care of our surplus girls.
They're extra girls. That was their reasoning. Not because it was I just realized this. Not because it was a commandment of God, so to speak, but it was to take care of the surplus girls.
Isn't he thoughtful? He's a sensitive man. And to multiply and replenish the earth. 15 lines are cut out of Cannon's diary for October 1894, where the suggestion regarding concubinage was made. And so the present cover-up goes.
See, I feel like Lori and Chad, they're in the solemn covenant. Solemn. That's the kingdom of God. That is the Holy of Holies. That is the hierarchy of the celestial kingdom where you have the second anointing.
Going on is there is no access to George Q. Cannon's diary to find out what else he may have said about concubinage or how widespread the practice was, unknown to historians today. Fake divorces attempted to mislead authorities. The logic was fake divorce was necessary to live the higher law of polygamy. The theology, earthly marriage or divorce was not binding in heaven anyway.
So there's that. And so that goes to the whole thing where everybody, even I bought into it. Even I was like, oh, okay. Where we disavow polygamy. Where do you think, this is my opinion, and everybody's going to, who's not in agreement with me is going to come a lashing, but that's okay. Anyways, I forgot. Hold on, let me think. Oh, that they disavowed polygamy. Well, they had to disavow, and I'm doing air quotes back here. They had to disavow polygamy in order to get government funding. So that goes kind of all in hand with the whole Barry Cox sovereign citizen. Okay, it's basically a big Barry Cox. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. a sovereign citizen. They wanted to have their own territory. The Utah Territory, or whatever it's called, was going to be called. But they had, in order to be, I think, y'all don't hold me, I don't know how to explain it, intelligently. I sound like a first grader back here, but I basically, just to become a part of the United States and to be able to get government funding, they were like, yeah, we did away with it. Yeah, wink, wink, nod, nod. That's my opinion. That's what I see. That's how I feel. I don't know.
And so if you're
I wanna
getting
be
into
wrong.
trouble with the federal government because you're out of compliance, get a divorce. Doesn't count anyway in God's eyes. The Smoot hearings, congressional hearings from 1904 to 1907, held by the Senate to determine if U.S. Senator-elect Reed Smoot should be seated in the U.S. Senate, since there was plenty of evidence that Latter-day Saints had not been compliant when it came to their promises to repeal the practice of plural marriage. And so
it's funny how, like, Melanie Gibb, I can't recall. That's her song. One time in my life, unless it suits her, unless it benefits her. My opinion.
this, I just took a few things. This is a gold mine if you want to find lots of information about lying for the Lord under oath.
Here we go.
Under oath, Apostle John Henry Smith testified he couldn't remember his own birth date, as well as other easily recalled facts. I think some of them were the names of his children and the names of his wife and where he lived. Just nothing.
Telling.
Some apostles were declared to be too sick to travel, but they traveled anyway. Longer distances than it would have been to come to Washington, D.C. And so it's carried on because if loyalty trumps honesty, and if it is your duty to do whatever you have to protect the prophet and the leaders and the church.
Bam. See? Oh, poetic.
Because if loyalty trumps honesty, and if it is your duty to do whatever you have to protect the prophet and the leaders and the church, then you just have to find an appetizing or a more pleasant way to say it in our day and age.
Mm-mm-mm.
In the official church curriculum, that's a continued cover-up. In the church education professional development program that I participated in,
and Mike Stroud participated in, and Jason Mao now participates in, Robert Norman.
We were told that doctrine is anything that is in a church publication that the church has published, except for the church magazines, so that they can have plausible deniability. That means Talmage's Jesus the Christ, which the church published in, is it 1915 first, is considered doctrine, but something published by Bookcraft or Deseret Book or some other publisher is not. You may consider that to be the general authority's own opinions. And so,
isn't that interesting? Because like Chad's books, and Julie's books, they were published by, Deseret News, which is owned by the church, Siegel. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. I don't have it in front of me. So, but they handled their books. Visions of Glory. Visions of freaking Glory, y'all. I don't know what it is, but that's for the portals. That's the whole portal thing. I'm not going to say that's where it came from because nobody has an original idea. That's what my friend Jen said, and it's true, including myself. We're just here picking up the pieces and just trying to figure it out. That's why I'm here.
So we were told to use that as a guide because we were supposed to be the doctrinal conveyors of truth to the students. And so Joseph Fielding Smith said about the official church history, the most important history in the world is the history of our church. And it is the most accurate history in the world. However, the official history leaves out some important aspects of Smith's personality.
Now, this I've shared with y'all before via audio, so this will sound familiar. And I mean, the way I did it, it's in my video editing app. And when he lists the characteristics of Joseph Smith, play clips and clips and clips and clips from Melanie Pulaski, Lori, Chad. You'll see. I mean, that's not in this, but you'll be able to point them out in your head.
He did not adhere to the word of wisdom. He was a serial adulterer. He bedded girls as young as 14. He used character assassination.
He used character assassination.
As young as 14. He used character assassination when his embarrassing behavior was revealed.
That is so telling to me. That is so telling.
Character assassination when his embarrassing behavior was revealed, and his prophecies did not come true.
But right there, in my video app, which one day I'll publish the dang thing, but that's where I put a picture of Tammy, because Chad's prophecy did come true in this instance. Like, a lot of people have discounted Chad and Lori and isolate, like it's an isolated event that happened and it's never happened before. But that's bullshit. It has happened before. Every time that I feel like, hold on, let me get back over here so I can put myself on the screen. Every time that there is a splinter group, in my opinion, there's a splinter group. There's a lot of splinter groups in Mormonism. It is what it is. I mean, it's not negative, positive, however you want to take it. I'm just speaking the truth, or what I've seen. And you have all these splinter groups where I feel like maybe the leaders exalted them. I'm talking go way back and all the way to present. You can't exalt people and not expect them to run with that shit. Look at what happens when you exalt somebody, and that is what they know as gospel, as word, as Bible, as Book of Mormon, church. That's a wrap, like, thank you, USA Kiwi. That is troubling and it's wrong. We don't know what happens after we die. Nobody, no man, no body on this planet should be exalting people. That produces Chad and Lori. There's your narcissism. There's your narcissist. Times 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, pumping them out, And these secret ceremonies or ordinances have taken place long before Chad and Lori, and I can never prove it because, unless they break silence, but I don't believe anything that Lori and Chad have to say anyways, But my thing is just, it's out. It's time to bring it to light so that we can deal with it. It's not to be like, ha ha, ha ha. There's nothing funny about this. Nothing funny. Nothing entertaining. There's nothing good about this. It's wrong. Change it. Please. That's the best apology to me, is change for the better. It's the only way through to the other side. And how can I get people to even see that this is an issue, and this is at the very core of this whole thing? How can I get people to see that? How can I get people to change things if they're not even willing to see that this is a freaking problem? And it's not just my problem or my mom or my dad's or Annie's or my Aunt Cheryl or anybody else here. It's all of our problems. This is our problem. This makes a dangerous people. In my opinion, it has made a dangerous people time and time again. They go chasing after this idea and they throw the Church of the Firstborn at it. Oh, they're just, they're branching off. No, they're not. They're very much, what do you call it? The prophet. They're very much, oh crap, in line with the prophet. They're not trying to branch off. They're not trying to be their own prophet. In this religion, they are very much in line with the prophet. I mean, Lori says it to Colby. Just listen to President Nelson. Stay off the internet. Basically, don't go looking don't go Googling that on up because you're going to find out some things, son. In my opinion. Hi, Nettie of Norway's DP journey. To me, that's just as that omission thing and the plausible deniability. That sucks. It sucks. Thank you, US Kiwi. It sucks. You can't tell people like Chad and Lori, obviously, that they're exalted. Do you see what happens? You see what happens, right? That's why we're here. And I just don't want to see it happen again. That's all. It's not to point out and say, you're wrong. That's not my thing. I don't, just because it's not the way I think or the way I believe or whatever, I can respect that. I do respect that. But where I am concerned is this. It didn't affect their family. It affected mine. It didn't affect their life. It affects mine. They can go home and hug their kids, their grandkids, and their cousins and aunts and uncles, and everything's great. I can't. My parents can't. We cannot. Nobody in our families. I'm not speaking for them. This is all me. My parents don't know what I know. I mean, as far they might know on their own. I'm just saying, this is a free think right here. Okay, I'm my own individual, and enough's enough. Enough is enough. It has been intimidating. It has been like walking on eggshells, big time, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to hurt their beliefs. I mean, that's big. That's big. And I say that with the most compassion because I've seen it. I've watched it. It broke my shelf too. And I don't even believe I'm not Mormon, but I am an empathetic person. And I can't imagine. When you picture leaders, right? You picture people that you can go to. If you need help, if you need guidance, if you need support. And so whenever you're, in this and I'm seeing all this and I'm just like, oh my God, no, this goes all the way up. And I mean, I have tried to dismiss what my gut was telling me all along. I could see it, but I couldn't prove it. I couldn't get you from A to B to C to D all the way up. And so that's what I've been working on, it's just how do I explain this? How do I explain this on a public forum? How do I explain this and not get ostracized myself, which I have? How do I explain this and do justice for the victims? How do I tell their stories without pissing somebody else off? without breaking their shelf or even introducing this. This is not fun. This is not cute. It's not pretty. Ain't nothing pretty about murder. I've always told Jen, I just want to put it into a tiny little box and with a bow on it and be able to present it that way. But, the fact of the matter is that it will never be pretty. It will never go into a tiny little box with a bow on it because it's not pretty. That is the reality of it. Murder's not pretty. I just want to do right by the victims. Charles, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Their stories, they were silenced. They weren't afforded that privilege, that right to people playing God and then some, playing God. And I don't think that's cool. I know that's why you're here, and I know that's why we do this week after week after week, because we want to understand, not because we're being nosy or because we're just, not sweeping around my porch, so to speak, like my mama always said, sweep around your porch. And that meant make sure that, you're doing things right and you're being a good person. I try to the best of my ability. But I know that I'm not done. This is going to continue to evolve until the day I die, until the day that you die. We're going to continue to learn and evolve. Hopefully, try to be better people than we were yesterday. But not all are like that. Not all think like me. Not all think like you. And so there's power in numbers. The knowledge is power. I'd rather be presented with the truth, and then I know how to navigate with that. I can't navigate around the lies because they're just that. They're deceptive. Yeah. They're deceptive and they do us no good. They waste time. I can't stand, and I'm late for everything. Always, always, always. No, yeah, right. I'm coming, San Willow. Let me click it. So I forgot what I was going to say because I saw that. Okay, yeah. So I Googled that up, right? I don't know. I'm trying to finish off that other thought, but I don't know. You'll know how I am with my mind. Let me go to it. Wrong one. Okay. Okay, let me go and present this. Yeah, no. This one. Share this tab instead. Okay. So these, I wasn't going to show you this. I was going to show you what you just asked about, but I'll come back to this. Y'all close your eyes because I'm going to scroll down just a bit. A little bit more. Okay. Okay, so I Googled that up, right? Dave Channer. David A. Channer, so it's bigger. Serves as regional legal counsel. He was subpoenaed by Lori's attorneys. And it says he serves as regional legal counsel with the Office of General Counsel. That's so many things, right? I'm already lost. Regional Legal Counsel with the Office of General Counsel for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He is responsible for the areas of South America, South, East Europe, Asia, and Pacific. David received his bachelor's degree in finance from Brigham Young University in 1981 and his JD, whatever that is, from the J. Reuben Clark Law School in 1985. He has served as an associate for Vinson and Elkins LLP 1985 through 87, Hawley Troxell, Ennis and Hawley 87 through 90, and Morrison Knudsen Corporation 90 through 95. He has also served on the Chief Corporate Counsel for Micron Technology Inc. 1995 through 2008, and as area legal counsel for the Mexico area 2008 through 2011. He speaks both English and Spanish. And so this is just to help people understand. This is the first presidency up here. He's the prophet right here. And then that's President Oaks, President Eyring. They're the first counselors. But anyways, so the first presidency of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, Jesus Christ leads his church through a prophet who acts as the president of the church, and two or three apostles who are called to be the prophet's counselors. This group is known as the first presidency, these dudes, and is the highest governing body of the church. Then you have the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, which if y'all read the infamous Reddit email, that's Ballard and Renland are zombies. If that line in there, that's Chad, I guess, Ian relaying the message that, what's his name? Hermosillo and who's the other one? I guess Ron Ball are two of the detectives are zombies now, right? They're in Kane's Dark 50. And anyway, so Ballard and Renland, they're two of the 12 apostles. And usually there's an apostle or whatever, or two, that participate in these secret anointings. So I don't know why they would be deemed dark. Just I've always throw that around in my mind, you know. But anyways, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles is the second highest presiding body in the government of the church. Its members travel the world as special witnesses of the name of Christ and serve under the direction of the first presidency. So I think I looked that position up. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints follows the same pattern as the church that Jesus Christ established during his mortal ministry, restored in modern times. He remains the head of the church and directs his chosen servants as they lead. The leaders of the worldwide church are known as general authorities and general officers. General authorities include the first presidency, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, General Authority 70s, and the presiding bishopric. General officers include the general presidencies of the Relief Society, which is for women, primary, which Lori was a primary teacher, Sunday school, young women, and young men's organizations. The first presidency is the highest governing body of the church, along with the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Members of the first presidency are special witnesses, allegedly, of Jesus Christ. They seek the Lord's guidance as they oversee the affairs of the church. General authorities, general officers, and other church leaders likewise seek divine guidance as they love and serve specific groups. Oh yeah. She'll know who she is. But anyway, so this is the first thing that come up, when I Googled that on up, Dave Channer. Because I'm like, wonder what, I wonder why. Why are they why they send subpoenas to Dave Channer and Life Academy, I just inquiring minds want to know. That's all. And just this is David Channer. This is his LinkedIn thing. Meridian, Idaho. 151 connections. It says that he's the Associate General Counsel, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It just has a lot of this. And then these, others named David Channer. These are people that they may know. And Dallin Oaks, bam. I doubt that's Dallin Oaks. But anyways, who knows? But yeah, so staff member of BYU Law Review. I didn't go too far into it, but here's a starting point. I'm sure we'll find out soon. I don't know why Jason's making so much noise. Okay, a lot of this is repeat. Oh, okay. So Let me go here. I want to go back to here and then I'll. Let me go here.
So some of them were retroactively reworked to make them look as if they had come true, or simply not included.
Sounds familiar.
Brigham Young was determined to paint those who challenged Smith's authority as traitors and liars, and so the church corrected.
So that brings me all back to the court hearing. I'm sorry, Chad's preliminary hearing, where the recorded phone call of Melanie Gibb with Lori and Chad, and Lori's like, "Oh yeah," talking about my mom, Kay, saying that she's doing all these things. She's wanting to kidnap JJ. Does it make sense though? Can we just riddle this and entertain this for 1 second? Does it make sense for Lori to be like, "Oh hell no," and all scared of my mom, of Kay, and then her and Melanie Gibb, aka Phoebe, have a conversation about who could take JJ because he was getting in the way of their mission, allegedly. And then Lori's like, "Oh yeah, I dropped him. Kay received him at the airport." Okay, unpack. That doesn't make any damn sense. How are you gonna say that Lori? Who's lying? Besides all of them, their mouth is moving. They're lying. How are you gonna say that somebody is a threat and then go and say, "Oh no, I brought him to the airport. She received him." Who says received, anyways? Thank you. But anyway, so that's just another one of those things where I'm like, is Melanie Gibb lying? Is thank you, babe. Is Lori who knows what? Who? Doesn't make any sense.
Curriculum and church histories reflect that also. 60% of the history was written after Smith's death, but made to sound like he wrote it from his own journal accounts.
So then we go with the two camps. There's people who say that Joseph Smith was the prophet and that it should have went to his son after he died. And then there are those who are Brigham Young. And that is the mainstream, quote, air quote back here, that's the mainstream church is Brigham Young's, basically. Community of Christ, people like them, Denver Snuffer, they have moved off to the RLDS, which is more like Christian. It's more Christian-like, I guess you can say. It reflects that more than I would say Brigham, this and quote mainstream church. I'm sure. Let's see.
The extermination order.
Here it is.
What a lot of people don't realize, it was first threatened by the Latter-day Saints 3 months before the extermination was ordered by Governor Lilburn W. Boggs. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying you ought to see both sides. Section 98 of the Doctrine and Covenants is basically a law of retaliation.
Here we go.
Where God gives you permission to go hunt down and kill your enemies after the third offense.
Now, if he comes at you once, if he comes at you twice, if he comes at you 3 times, it says it right here. Justifying.
There's a little more about the extermination order. This is what Sidney Rigdon said in this famous 4th of July speech. "And that mob that comes on us to disturb us, it shall be between us and them a war of extermination. For we will follow them until the last drop of their blood is spilled, or else they will have to exterminate us."
Interesting. I see the same pattern.
"For we will carry the seed of war to their own houses and their own families, and one party or the other shall be utterly destroyed." Smith approved of the speech, and it was printed in the Far West, a weekly newspaper, and the church's Elders' Journal. the church had its own war department. The church was, they had a secretary of war, their prophet and president. In the Nauvoo period, what was his rank? Yeah, king. Yeah, it was. He had himself. Yeah, yeah. And lieutenant general, or which kind of lieutenant general? And was he the first one since George Washington that had held that office? Huh? Was it? Okay, well, whatever he was. Yeah. How'd that work? Commander-in-chief for the Zion's camp. That's right. Yeah.
Zion's camp has a lot to do with DesNat. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm not trying to get mobbed.
So there's a real militaristic and culture of violence. The Lord would fight their battles, Smith said, and avenge their enemies until the third and fourth generation. The highest ranking Mormon charged with murder was
Okay, now this right here strikes a chord with me.
Apostle Parley P. Pratt during the Missouri conflict. He killed one Missourian and then severely wounded militiaman Samuel Tarwater. Some of the Danites mutilated the unconscious Tarwater with their swords, striking him lengthwise in the mouth, cutting off his underteeth and breaking his lower jaw, cutting off his cheeks and leaving him for dead. He survived to press charges against Pratt for attempted murder. His nickname was Lucky.
Oh my God. Am I right? Am I right? That's nuts. So, I know it's boring, but there's a lot of things in there. And there's not really, there's starting to be more and more ex-Mormons that are speaking out thanks to platforms like John Dehlin and Mormon Stories podcast and Mormon discussions with Radio Free Mormon and Bill Real. People are starting to feel, like sharing their stories, which is good. That's important. That's part of this healing process, is to heal. And a lot of people need to heal, myself included. And it's just interesting because I see the patterns. They repeat themselves. And that goes back to that core question that I asked myself when I saw my former Aunt Lori. She was my aunt. And I mean, I just didn't recognize who she was when I saw her walk via Zoom. Thank you, Zoom. When I saw her walk into the court with her nose snuffed up in the air, and her behaviors have not matched the severity of the situation. And I asked myself, who is that? Who is that person? In my mind, that's when she died. Like that. It's like, I don't know if that's how I compartmentalize or what, and detach myself. But that person died, in my opinion. Like I don't know who the hell that woman is. Yeah, at all. She's foreign. I don't recognize her. She's not there. Cuckoo, checked out. Not cuckoo crazy, just cuckoo. Wow. The murdering kind of cuckoo. Because I mean, it takes a certain level of crazy, in my opinion, to do the things that are alleged to have been done. So I know that the kids didn't bury themselves on Chad's property. Right. Somebody murdered them and put them there. And I know that Alex murdered my uncle, and they tried to justify it via their religion, which is not of their own. It's not Chad and Lori's doctrine. It's we're all prophets, if you think about it. We all have that ability, or intuition. You can call it that, whatever that is for you. So we're all prophets in a way. We can all point out things where we're, we exhibit narcissism. Um, in my opinion, I'm not professional, but again, I'm not a dumb either. Yeah, I mean, I mean, treat them like you want to be treated. That's what I try to do. If a missionary came to my house and just didn't leave a card, we don't have temples here. They don't come here. Jesus card in my living room. This is alarming. Okay. And but if I lived in an area where they did come by, I would offer them something to drink. I would give them something to eat if they were hungry. I would listen to what they have to say. You know, we're not here to. I'm not here to say what your journey is. My journey is different than yours. Right now, they're colliding, they're crossing, but that's not going to be forever. I may be going this way and you may be going that way, and that's okay. Right now, we're brought together over the victims and everything that they suffered, and we want justice. Part of that is justice through understanding. KJ in the Ray, she taught me that. And it blows my mind because it's understanding, justice through understanding. Because everybody has a different perspective of heaven, justice, hell. I mean, name the ways, it's different. Mainstream, that looks totally different for me now. I'll never buy mainstream at word value. No. Oh, wow. That's interesting, Gene. Thanks for sharing that. He wouldn't shave his head. I don't blame him. And yes, Teresa, I hope your family's doing well. I'm glad to see you here. You've been on my mind. Thank you for that. He did. He tried. And it was an involuntary. He tried to have Lori served with an involuntary hold mental evaluation. They failed. They didn't just fail Charles. They really failed Charles, but they really failed all the victims. They failed us all. They failed me. They failed the system. It's broken. We've got to fix it. And until we address these things and call them out for what they are, nothing will ever be changed, because it's just, brush it, sweep it under the rug. And that rug is like this, it's you can't see around it anymore. You can only do so much before it's like, okay, well, that didn't work, or it worked for so long. Kind of, not really. It causes all these other ripple effects, these other problems that just don't have to be. Like Larry says, it's not difficult. This is difficult research, but it's not difficult. But people make it difficult. That is what we do. We complicate things. We make them harder than they are. I do. So, I don't know. Anyways, if they come by and tell me when I die I'm going to heaven, not a planet, it is what it is. We'll find out when we get there. But just the fact that the way they discovered the remains, and I mean, I'm putting it out there like this. Don't get me wrong. There's no favoritism in murder, because nobody came out alive. If you catch my drift, Charles, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, and possibly Joe. If she didn't, then she murdered his. She character assassinated the hell out of. She's doing it right now. It's everybody else's fault. Lori is thinking this. It's everybody else's fault. She's being persecuted. But then she really did believe, and she lived by her scriptures, just like she said. There is a lot of truth in the things that they say. Not what they're trying to sell you, but what they're saying. There's a lot of truth, and that's why I'm like, nah, there's no way. They didn't just make up this this exaltation. It was told to them. I mean, come on. That's the only thing I can see. That's the only logical thing that makes sense without me making it complicated. It's hook, line, and sinker. Um, and that's so bad. That's so bad. See what it did, right? You can't do this, church. You cannot continue to do this. Please stop. Please. And even let's just say that Chad and Lori did not. Let's just, I'm okay with that too. I don't have to be right. I'd rather not be right. But let's just say that they didn't participate in the second anointing. Others have. So it's still going on. Stop. Stop. Stop doing that, church. Stop exalting people. Stop. That makes a dangerous people. I don't want your family to get murdered. I don't want your family's justice to be riding in the hands of a very heavily influenced area of what's a nice way? Toxicity, you know? All right. Mark A. David. Not right. High five there. Loin Viral, Big Betty and friends, right? I agree with that. She did know. Lynn says that Lori knew her scriptures inside and out. How would she believe Chad if she wasn't fought to her by the church on some level? I don't understand. I'm even trying to. How would she believe Chad if it wasn't fought to? Oh, taught. Okay, got it. If it wasn't taught to her by the church on some level, exactly. Exactly. And I guess the thing that I took to heart, and I still take personal, is that people saying and distancing themselves from the same beliefs of Chad and Lori. They're no different. Besides the intent you have in your heart. That's where I think it differs, Greed, ego, money, James the Lust, all these code names, all these secret, not sacred ordinances, all these things that are opposite of Christ-like, in my opinion. But there's such good people that are caught up in this and don't even know these things exist about their own religion, their own church. And so if you can hide it from people in your own church, it took me a long time. It took me a long time. Thank God this wasn't an investigation. Thank God I'm not in law enforcement, because I got thrown, it's multiple probations and energy healing. Whatever they say, you look everywhere else, because it's everything but that, in my opinion. Just saying. It's like throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. Kind of like we see with Chad and Lori. And it would not benefit the church if this got out. It would not benefit the church at all. And I can see where, you're in a pickle. You're in a pickle. But you kind of put yourself there. Be accountable for your own actions. Thank you, little brand. I have to be accountable for mine. You need to be accountable for yours. Lori and Chad need to be accountable for theirs. Melanie, go on and on and on. Everybody has to be accountable for what they put out there. Yeah, Ballard is one of the names on the zombie. Yeah, Renlin and Ballard. Ballard and Renlin are zombies. And so it makes me wonder if they were the general authorities / apostles that attended the washing of the feet, the second endowment, the second anointing. It makes all the sense in the world to me, but I don't know why. And then don't seal people. People in that religion really hold that sacred because it's sacred to them. So if you're a leader of the church, please either consider it sacred, but don't do it secret. Nothing should be secret. That's when bad shit comes out of it. That's when Chad and Lori come out of it, and are minus a wife, a husband, 2 children, a former ex-husband, or you know what I mean. That's when you have victims. That's when, if you're trying to multiply the earth, stop subtracting. You know, there's my tip of the day. Anyways, so I don't know. I just know that it's wrong, and on so many levels. Even if it didn't involve murder or Chad and Lori, it's wrong. I know, Queen Bee, and that's so sad. It is, and I'm, you know, how do you say this? This is hard to say. That's what I've fought with over the past couple of years, is how do you say this without hurting somebody? It's gonna hurt. Truth hurts. So that's not my intention. Mine is to tell, to share my perspective with you. And in doing that, I'm also hopefully able to bring out the stories of Charles, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, and Joe, because they are not here to tell their stories, because they were murdered and their voices were taken away. And I think it's more than fair that they have their stories come out. As ugly, it's ugly, but it's even uglier. I'm just like, okay, zombies, okay. And then the people in leadership roles, that's ugly. It's wrong. It's a cult within a cult. A secret society inside a secret society. And it's not good. We see the fruits of ye. We see the, what is it? By ye fruits ye shall know. Ye see ye fruits. They're no bueno. So, but anyways, oh my God, thank you, Detective's daughter. Thank you. Oh, I love you bunches too. Thank you so much. Oh my God, woman. Whew. That's a hondo. Anyways, this is Detective's daughter, and she always writes me the handwritten letters. I love them. It's the time that she takes. It's the heart. That's why, somebody asked if it could be better to type the letters to the judge or write. Me personally, handwrite, because it's personal. It puts the human back into it. It takes the robot out. And so I said this earlier in the live stream, that Detective's daughter writes me in snail mail, and I love it. I appreciate her time, and I appreciate your time. Everybody here, I do. Thank y'all so much for being here and supporting me throughout this process, whatever this is, whatever this ends up being. It's going to be whatever it is. It is what it is. Y'all know I say that all the time. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let's go to this. Segue into that. I don't understand why the church didn't come out and condemn all these crazy cult offshoots. I'm going to air quote that. They knew they existed. They knew the books were written. Where was the condemnation to protect their own? Exactly. Oh my God, Sand Willow. Thank you. Oh my gosh. But where was the condemnation? Where is it? It's not too late. Right? Oh, thank you, Sand Willow. So much. Thank y'all. That means so much. Just y'all being here and listening to what I have to say. It's not an easy process, but it's worth it. I know that much. Some good has to come out of the bad. Has to. That's how love wins. That's exactly how love wins. And so I'm going to see to it that that is how love will always win. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate you. I appreciate this community. I appreciate you guys rallying around us. And always, 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 no matter what you're going through, and I know you have your own lives and your own hardships and everything, and I appreciate the fact that you take time out of your day to spend it with me, with us, to figure this out, to get justice through understanding. And I can't thank you enough. Words cannot properly convey how I feel. One day I hope to meet as many of you as I can, and it's worth it. They're worth it. And thank y'all for being here. I'm going to leave. Jason brought some food. So, and thank you, mods. Yes, thank you so much. Kathy, I hope you feel better. Thank you, Jay Hughes. Thank y'all so much. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. And may love always win.